Crimes of the Future, out in theaters, new film directed by David Cronenberg, starring Viggo Mortensen, Lea Seydoux and Kristen Stewart. Interestingly, it's the second film under that same title that Cronenberg made. His feature debut from 1970 was titled exactly the same, although the plot was apparently completely different. The story takes place in a weird, simultaneously futuristic and run-down world where, amongst other things, humans eliminated physical pain from their lives. Only a couple of people remaining can even feel physical pain, and that only in their dreams. We follow two performance artists who are in a partnership. Viggo Mortensen's Saul has a condition which is known as sort of accelerated evolution, where his body grows additional organs inside of it, some of them without a clear function. And considering them almost, tumors, parasitic growths, he cuts each of them out before they manage to do any harm. But the act of cutting them out is done publicly as an art performance by his partner Caprice, played by Lea Seydoux. And one day Saul gets approached by a strange man with an idea for a new performance for him. He wants Saul and Caprice to perform a public autopsy on the body of the man's own young son. So the film was released in many countries a few weeks back, including the US, where it apparently lost a lot of money. And I think that is due to two things. The first one, more obvious, the distributor did not have a lot of faith in the film, and they gave it just a very limited release with almost no marketing. But secondly, it is a very Cronenbergian film, which means it's not for everyone, quite far from it. There's a lot of body horror, a lot of nudity, graphic scenes involving body mutilation and live organs. There is weird technology, dystopian future, and a cryptic plot that is populated by strange characters. And a plot which I'm not even sure I understood correctly in the end. Now, first things first, I love the production design. I think that the world being so derelict and in such shitty condition, with paint coming off the walls and shitty buildings and so on, it makes it feel real and very dystopian at the same time. The various machines, on the other hand, they look like something straight out of H.R. Geiger's sketchbook, the artist behind the Alien design. There's a chair that looks like a skeletal spine. There's a tentacled bed suspended from the ceiling, and more. The costumes are interesting in the way that every character seems to come from a different type of film. Some of them were regular modern stuff. Some of them fashioned from the past decades. Some of them futuristic costumes. And Saul just dresses like a ninja from Mortal Kombat for some reason. There's also the interesting choice of having characters kneel down when talking most of the time, which, as I've read, actually comes from Viggo Mortensen being injured during the movie's production and unable to stand for prolonged periods of time. But it somehow manages to work within the film, making it even weirder and stranger. And then we come to the plot, which I think is about art, about the way artists have to adapt to the changing times and the changing conditions. The central conflict in the film seems to be between Saul, who is rejecting the changes that his body is going through, and a number of other people who in various ways embrace or even seek those changes out. At the same time, it also manages to sometimes be a pretty funny commentary on performance art itself. It certainly doesn't have its head up its ass, and it laughs at the occasional nonsensical aspects of it, like the whole scene with the dancing man with multiple ears stitched onto his body. I did struggle with a few elements of the film, like Kristen Stewart's character. Although she's played very well, it's a very good performance. I'm not sure how she fits in with the rest, or the connection between her and the black policeman, or the role of the two machinery technicians. Because the movie doesn't explain shit and then ends pretty abruptly. And I'm a fairly logical person. I like to understand and be able to dissect the movie that I'm watching. And I feel that in this case, I can't quite penetrate what it is all meant to be about. But I will say that as an experience, as just watching and being embracing something new something surprising and strange, unfolding before my eyes. The film was entertaining for me, so I liked it, even though I can't very well explain what it's about or even whether it's good or not. I think it's weird, cryptic, difficult to digest, and sometimes even more difficult to watch because of all the body horror. But it is an interesting experience.